Hello again, humans. It is I, Jim the Ape, and I have over 100 subscribers. I'm really blown away just by the simple fact that 100 people would want to hear what I have to say. And I can't thank all of you enough for subscribing. I never even thought that I would make it this far, at least not in less than 9 months. I can't even imagine how insanely ecstatic I'll be if my channel continues to grow and reaches much higher milestones like 1,000 or 10,000. I know it's technically possible, but it seems like a fucking pipe dream at this point. Anyway, I wanted to celebrate 100 subscribers by doing a couple of things. First and foremost, I would like to invite all of you to ask me questions in the comments section of this video. Ask me anything you want to know, and if I get enough questions, I'll answer them in a special video which will probably be called Ape Answers, or something to that effect. Otherwise, I'll just drop the answer as a reply to the comment. Secondly, I would like to invite all of you to send me requests of videos you would like me to respond to. You can do that by linking said video in a comment, I think. Or if that doesn't work, you could send it to me by email at jimtheape104@gmail.com, because that email address was created specifically for me and my YouTube channel. And if I get a good enough request, I'll make a response and shout out the person who requested it in the video. Last but not least, I wanted to ask a question that I already mentioned at the end of my last video. Basically, I wanted to know, do you think I should open a Patreon for this channel? I've been thinking about it more and more lately, and there's points for and against it. On the one hand, I put a lot of time and effort into my videos, writing, recording, tons of editing, and often linking several other videos in the description. So it makes sense to at least be potentially rewarded for all my hard work, especially considering that Patreon is entirely voluntary and does not force ads on my videos other than me having to promote it to some extent. On the other hand, I'm always reluctant because I don't know if anyone would be interested in donating to it, so for all I know, it would be a waste of time, not to mention embarrassing. And there's also the requirement to come up with various levels of perks to be offered that I would have to think of and be prepared to deliver on. And of course, money is not the primary motivation behind my videos. It's more of a passion project, because I like expressing my views, no matter how controversial they may be. So, let me know what you guys think, and maybe I'll open one. Now that that's out of the way, I wanted to explain something that I said in my previous video. Not because someone got offended by it. In retrospect, they were probably the type of person who would have been offended no matter how carefully I phrased it. But because I would rather not be misunderstood or mischaracterized as a racist. Not if I can help it. I've said repeatedly, I don't give a shit about skin color. All humans are inferior to apes such as myself. But I understand how what I said could be taken out of context as a racist statement. So the rest of this video is going to be me clarifying what I meant and why I said it. But before I begin, I wanted to recommend my top 3 black anti-SJW YouTubers. Of course, the fact that they're black has no effect on me liking them, or how much I like them, but it is an unavoidable observation. In no particular order, I recommend Zers, aka Bass Fizz. He's a laid-back guy who doesn't get overblown angry like I do, but keeps a cool head and responds rationally. Next is some black guy who is a metalhead with tattoos and a nose ring, and he's pretty cool-headed as well. Last but not least, it's everyone's friend, it's Tyler. He's your only black friend, so he's your best black friend. I wouldn't trade him for another black friend. Yes, Tyler Preston is also very calm and rational, and he refutes SJW videos well, despite having a speech impediment. So check all 3 of these guys out if you haven't already. Links to their channels will be in the description, as well as a link to Tyler Preston's video about reparations. He did a much more informative, less angry, and less offensive video on it than I did. So, now that that too is out of the way, here's what I said, and a little bit of what I was responding to give you about as much context of what I said as was given in that particular part of my video.
So now I'm going to show you these well-trained male Saxons, toilet seat complexion individuals, okay?
Yeah, Gary Orsom already pointed out that most white people's actual skin color bears less resemblance to a toilet seat than your complexion bears to what mostly solid matter goes into one. So, whenever you refer to my pet human and anyone with a similar skin color as toilet seat complexion individuals, just know that I will be thinking of you, and only you, as a shit-skinned person. Now, some of you may already understand why I said that and need no further explanation, but for those of you who don't, I will elaborate. First, I need to explain a philosophy that I live by, as it pertains to the aforementioned comment. Basically, what you are on the inside, as revealed through your words and your actions, affects how I see you on the outside. So, if you're a hateful, bigoted, vile cunt of a person, you're ugly to me no matter what you look like at the skin-deep level. Conversely, if you're a rational, reasonable, smart, funny, and/or genuinely nice person who treats other people with respect, I will look at your physical appearance more favorably than if I didn't know anything about your personality at all. So, when Black Hitler, whose real name is Ghazi, I guess, revealed himself to be a completely racist piece of shit, I started to see him as a racist piece of shit, inside and out. Secondly, I should have played a clip from Gary Orsom's video rather than just briefly mentioning it. Because in all reality, it wasn't even my original idea. It was just a less tactful, more insulting version of what Gary Orsom explained more carefully in this clip.
So now I'm going to show you these well-trained male Saxons, toilet seat complexion individuals, okay?
You see, when you call me a toilet seat complexion Saxon individual, I think that makes for a very interesting experiment. First, we'll take a sample of my skin colour and we'll put it in a box up in the left-hand side of the screen. Now let's take a sample of the colour of a toilet seat and put it up in the left-hand side of the screen as well. Next, we'll take a sample of Black Hitler's skin colour, and rather than the colour of a toilet seat, let's go for the colour of toilet contents. You see, now here lies the problem with you calling white people toilet seat complexion. Your complexion is actually closer to the colour of toilet contents. Therefore, toilet seat complexion isn't a very good put down of white people when it invites the obvious comeback.
And you see, he even proved it objectively. But you know what? Black people also have a skin tone similar to the color of chocolate. And fucking everybody loves that! So, if you're a black person, and you're not a racist asshole like Black Hitler, you can easily just say that that doesn't apply to you. And instead, you're a delicious piece of chocolate that everybody wants to taste. Oh, and of course there's the little detail that I explicitly said that I was only talking about him. And once again, we've come to the third and final point in a neat little trio of things I wanted to say. And that is simply that what I said was a direct response to one very specific thing that one very specific individual had said. It could be boiled down to schoolyard playground levels of simplicity. He says all white people are the color of toilet seats. I say, nuh-uh, you are the color of poop. Again, inside and out, which is why I specified only him. But to put it another way, sometimes someone says something so ridiculous and hateful that you have to show them how horrible it is by saying something comparably horrible to them in return. To hold a mirror up to them and hope that the message gets through that that's as bad as if I said XYZ. And it's not said with the same level of bigotry and hate towards a group of people like the original statement. It's to show how bad that statement is by putting the shoe on the other foot. In fact, there are a myriad of expressions to describe the idea: fighting fire with fire, eye for an eye, tit for tat, etc. But the point is, it's not me being as racist as he is. It's to show how stupid his racism is, and to highlight the fact that he can get away with it more because he's considered an oppressed minority, by coming up with a comparable retort. So, I hope my explanation was helpful. If you're a rational person that maybe thought I just went too far, perhaps you can at least understand where I'm coming from. If you watched this far just out of curiosity, and you already agreed that what I said was not racist, I hope you were entertained to some extent. And if you still think I'm racist, I don't think there's anything more that I can do to convince you otherwise. I've done my due diligence. In closing, I would like to play you a clip from a hangout I was on with Failure Accomplished, Andy Worski, Peach Bailey, Paper Ghost, and way too many others to name. Even Bearing was on at one point. The stream lasted almost 6 hours in total, so I wouldn't expect any of you to watch the whole thing, but I will end this video with the relevant part where we talked about what I had said. So, enjoy, and until next time, stay great, apes. Yeah, I think he's got more of a pre-made set of questions that are kind of one size fits all and not necessarily tailored specifically to the person. Like, I did an interview with him that's been recorded. It's not been published yet. I'm sure that's coming down the pipeline sometime soon, hopefully. Mm-hmm. And he didn't really. It wasn't like he was asking me questions that pertained only to something specific that I had said or anything like that. Although it's funny because now I would have a bit more to talk about because I succeeded in offending someone who who repeatedly called me racist. Mm-hmm. And I'm probably going to make a follow-up video about that, just to kind of elaborate what I meant and just to clarify, because I didn't really explain it very well in that video. Yeah.
What was the trigger that made them call you racist exactly? What do you think was not explained well by you and that fucked you over to have someone call you a racist?
Well, it was because I was responding to Black Hitler's video. I don't know his name, and I don't care to. He's Black Hitler to me, and he's got
Ghazi Kotso.
Whatever. He's got the video of him with holding his phone vertically, and his 5 white acolytes or whatever talking about how white people owe black people reparations, and and in the midst of basically. Being an entitled racist cunt, he refers to white people, meaning all white people, as toilet seat complexion individuals.
Wow.
Oh, I know that video.
Now, I took that, and I took the logical extension of something that Gary Orsom did in his response video, where he basically made a demonstration that Black Hitler's skin tone is closer to the color of shit than white people's skin tone is close to a toilet seat color.
That was an amazing video.
So, he physically demonstrated that shit, and I probably should have used a clip of Gary Orsom's video, but I didn't want to. I wanted it to be just a straight-up response from me. And the way I phrased it was I kind of referred to what Gary Orsom did, but then I said something I said, so when you refer to white people as toilet seat complexion individuals, just know that I will be thinking of you and only you. I took great care to say and only you as a shit-skinned person.
Yeah, that's
so
not
obviously they blew up, the one person blew up oh, that's a racial slur, how dare you. And I'm I wasn't
saw that thread.
I wasn't insulting the skin tone itself. I was insulting this one specific racist person who compares white people's skin to a toilet seat when his own skin more closely resembles the color of shit.
Yeah.
So it was an ironic, like, mirror response to basically show how horrible what he said was by saying something similar back to him.
I almost did exactly what you did on the 27 questions a black person has for white people. Was the girl asked, why do you think it's racist when we call you mayo? And my response was, what if I call you chocolate? Now, in my video when I filmed it, I also said, what if I called you shit? Right?
Yeah.
But
Better cut
obviously,
that.
I wanted to just be careful, and plus, I know a greater explanation would have to have been made to be like, not all. Oh
Yeah,
my
but
God,
once
not
you
all.
say that, as poor Jim the Ape has proven, once you say it, they're not going to listen to your explanation.
Yeah, like I repeatedly
Fucking
explained
racist.
myself, and she even
Yeah.
said something like, "Your disclaimer doesn't excuse it." Like, it's like, okay, so you've acknowledged that I've made a disclaimer, and then I specifically said that I was talking only about Black Hitler, and
Can I
still,
reply to that thread?
They don't care.
I read that whole thing. She's such an idiot.
yeah, it was funny though, because like this whole, like, she kept bringing up irrelevant shit. She was like saying like, "Oh, you're just a fat white loser who can't get laid," and
I
she
like
was
how
saying she like she said, and I quote, "I suck and fuck white dick." I'm like, I don't give a shit
Whoa.
what fucking genitals and what fucking color you prefer them in. I just, it's totally irrelevant.
I like how she tore down the fourth wall and said that you weren't an ape.
No, she confused me for my pet human, which a lot of people
Slur.
make that mistake. I don't get it. We look nothing alike. He's a human, and I'm a talking 600-pound silverback gorilla. And even then, she kept calling me a monkey. I was like, you speciesist piece of shit. You're calling me a monkey, and I'm repeatedly telling you I'm a silverback gorilla.
Nobody cares if you're offended. Nobody cares if you think your intentions were all for the best. 'Cause every sentence that comes out of your mouth is a contradiction. If not that, it's a straw man for you to dream on and garner support from the friends that you've got, tearing down all these fake points of view. So I hope this song finds its way to you. It's everyone's friend, it's Tyler. He's your only black friend, so he's your best black friend. I wouldn't trade him for another black friend, because black friends are rare, as you should be aware. He smiles like Richard Pryor, so just sit and stare. It's everyone's friend, it's Tyler. It's everyone's friend, it's Tyler. Damn, that song's catchy.